Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of Tarnished Bronze. We're here in Southern California, where a lot of the counterculture started. And what better way to celebrate that than to look at one of the sort of early underground comics on Tarnished Bronze's Cult Comics Corner, Young Lust issue 1. And it says it in the top corner of the cover. It's a sexploitation comic. It's brought to us by Bill Griffith and a few other sort of uncredited people. Bill Griffiths, of course, doing the cover here and being pretty important in a variety of crossing over from that underground to the mainstream. Not quite in the sense of Robert Crumb, but in the sense that his character Zippy was kind of quite popular through the middle and later part of his career. And here, I think he's trying to do some of that sort of comic books that would be in head shops or like in sort of, I don't know that they were selling marijuana, but they like to always give the impression that they would sell marijuana, but mostly they just dealt in incense and little tchotchkes and stuff and, um, hippie looking stuff. So anyway, this is Young Last One. Have a read of the caption. The caption here, it's kind of like a subversion of all of those romance tropes. You've got her thinking here, 2 weeks ago he was dry humping me in the elevator, and now I'm lucky he remembers my goddamn name. So just fabulous stuff. You can see the little details here. He's got a Playboy bunny on his tie, and the caption for this comic is "This is the comic that goes all the way." So will this comic go all the way? Let's check it out. So this is all black and white. It's all these kind of like little strips. So we have three or four or five stories. All of them are kind of fun. One of them is actually very good. So, I mean, if you can find these relatively easily or relatively inexpensively, I recommend you pick them up. A lot of these books actually come out from Last Gasp in San Francisco. So even though this has a 1971 stamp on it, Last Gasp actually does a pretty good job of reprinting these. So this is kind of the art that you're in for. I'm just going to present the sort of safe for work, or as long as you don't read the captions, the safe for work stuff. So we've got different sort of sexual tales, people who are having trouble in the bedroom, and they introduce a third partner here, and that changes the dynamic of the relationship, and then that third partner kind of disappears. So that's like the love nest for three sort of episode. You can see here that he's really getting into having the third wheel, but then this will be sort of thrown on its head later, let's say, when the third wheel and the wife get involved and start making sure that there's a new ground zero for this couple. So there's a lot of stuff like this. Now, I really like this art style. I kind of enjoy the content. The Often the better stories in this aren't really related to the explicit content. Some of the more sort of overt sexual stuff, it's just not quite as fun, and it's honestly not quite as professional. I think, like I said, Bill Griffiths does a few of the stories here, but across the 32 pages, there might be maybe four different teams involved or four different cartoonists involved. One of the better stories actually was this one here, about a sort of really buttoned down university or college student, and she's just trying to explore herself, and she gets involved with the classical you know Lions Club member on campus, and then also the one who is a musician and rides a motorcycle and stuff like that. And you got to remember, this is the 70s, so it's all the world was just a bit of a different place, and the dynamics of her between these two different guys, and the fact that this is in the era where if you went to a protest, occasionally the police would sort of like get involved and really take a dislike to what to what you're doing. This one really, really works out well. So, like I said, picked this up in California. Was really glad I found it. The cover is pretty good. There's a few good stories here. I think there's 7 or 8 issues of this. If I find them at shops, I'm going to pick them up. I'm not going to sort of scrounge around. I do know that the first and second printings of these are highly expensive. Well, not highly expensive in the sense that you want to get them graded, but just, maybe 50, $60. So you can get 10th, 11th, 12th printings of these for sort of less than $10, which is pretty equivalent for an indie comic these days that you would get new. So that was Young Lust issue 1, Last Gasp Comics, Bill Griffiths, 1971. This is the Cult Comics Corner, but we've got more 80s, 90s, 2000s, 70s, and weird comics on the channel. Like, follow, subscribe. I've enjoyed talking about this issue with you, and get out there and read some more weird comics.